Alright guys, here it is. This is going to be the troubleshooting video. So we're going to tackle the wiring issues one by one. So the first thing to do is to go back to the basics and to get the lawnmower working just like it did. So that means mounting the battery and starting up the lawnmower just like it worked before, and then adding the stuff one by one to fix the problems. Alright guys, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to connect the lawnmower up with power directly, just like how it was with the battery. So with the one ground that goes right to the frame of the lawnmower, and then I have two positive connections here. So it's the original way that we mounted up the battery, so that's what we're going to do. Alright, here it is. We got it hooked up to the charger right there, plugged into the wall. And we got our two positive connections right there, pinched in this one. And then we have our one ground connection right there. First test, turn the key. We got a click and then nothing. I think that was a click, I'm not quite sure. So now we have nothing. Double check the thing there, 12 volts. Alright, so first one, nothing. I'm gonna just make sure everything's, I'm gonna do a check and to see what went wrong right here, and then I'll come back. Alright guys, we have a safety switch for the seat, if I can find it. I think it's under here somewhere. It's right here. So you have to connect to these two wires. I'm going to shove it up to the top. Right there. So we have to connect those two wires to complete the circuit so that it's just like you're sitting on the lawnmower, and then fingers crossed it'll start. We'll do that. So this will work. Alright, so I was just about to stick the needle nose pliers in this safety switch here, and right before I did that, I turned the key and this is what I got. So right now I'm hooked up to the charger right there, and when I turn the key, the starter spins. So why that's spinning right now, I have no idea. It could be that this has to be open in order for it to be able to be safe, or it has to be connected. I'm not sure, but I'll go ahead and still connect that up and see if it still works. It could be where if it's connected, you're off the seat, and then when you're on the seat, it's disconnected. And then that's how that might work. But I'll go ahead and stick that needle nose in there and try it anyways, and we'll see what we get out of that. Alright, just put the needle nose pliers in there, and it's stuffed in there. So we're going to try it and see what happens. Here it goes, turn in the key. And the starter, it's still spinning. Wow, this thing's more messed up than I thought it was. I have no idea why that's happening. It could be because there's a safety switch here from the blade engaging lever, and when I took all the blade engaging lever mounting stuff out to make room in there, that could be what's happening here, because I just have this switch right now electrical taped shut, so it's like on, it's pushed in right now. And then another safety switch is the brake, so you have to have the brake in. So I have the parking brake on, and there's a safety switch right there, maybe you can see it better over here, right there. So that's being pressed in, so I know that one's right. So the only two that could be wrong is this one and that one. So why it's starting with both of them connected, I don't know why, but so what I'll do is disconnect this one. So I'll take the electrical tape off and see what happens after that, and we'll see. We'll just play around with these two and see what happens. Alright, here's the test with the seat safety switch connected, and the blade engaging lever switch is out, and the parking brake is on, so that switch is in. Here we go. Turning the key. Nothing. Got nothing. Alright, so I'm going to take the needle nose pliers out just for the heck. I know it's not going to work, but we're going to just try that real quick. Here we go. Safety switch for the seat is disconnected. This switch is out. Parking brake is in. Here we go. Turning the key. We got nothing. Alright, so what I'm going to do is leave this switch disconnected and push that switch back in and see if it works. Alright, so here we go. We're going to push the blade engaging lever, the safety switch in for the blade engaging lever there. Parking brake is on, so that switch is in. Seat safety switch is disconnected. We're going to do the test with this safety switch in. Turning the key. Starter is spinning. So this has to be in, so I'm going to just leave this in to bypass this switch, and we're done with this switch. Alright, real quick test. I just retaped that switch just to make sure that it is pushed in. Turning the key. There we go. This safety switch for the seat is still disconnected. I just wanted to make sure that that was pushed in, so that is done with, and that's not causing any more problems for the rest of the troubleshooting. Moving on. So the next thing that we're going to do, I'm not sure why this is working, if it's connected or disconnected. I might have the wrong thing, so I'll look for another safety switch in there maybe, but I'm pretty confident that this is the one that connects to the seat. I'll double check the seat where it connects to, and I'll make sure that it's the receiving end for this connection here. And then the other thing that we have to fix is when we do turn the key and the starter spins, it's not engaging the teeth around the engine here, the drive shaft here. So that's not working, and I believe that's just because we don't have enough power. So like, I think when if I can remember right, when I had like a dead battery or something, it'll either click, click, click. That's the start of the solenoid will either click, or the starter will just spin. So what I think our problem is, the charger is not putting out the correct voltage, which that's kind of obvious, Todd. I don't know why I'm doing that right now, but so the only battery that I had was a dead one, so we got a new one. So it's right here. So we're gonna put this battery in and wire it all up, and see if the starter is spinning, or if it just, or if it actually will work. Alright, here we go. Battery is in, positive, negative are connected the right way. Safety switch for the seat is disconnected. Switch right here is, like we said, we're done with it. It's connected. The parking brake is on. Turning the key. And there we go. As you can see, it turned the engine. So it's turning it over. And I know this engine starts right up. So we have officially fixed the wiring issue. Now we are able to start the lawnmower. So we officially got it back to how we had it before. So technically, if I put it all back together the way it is right now, put the wheels on it, all I would have to do is mount the pulley under there and get a belt for it. It could be driven right now if if I did that. So I'm happy to see that it still works like this. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to check out this issue with the safety switch for the seat. I could have done something on the other end of this, but I doubt it because these lawnmower wiring harnesses are impossible to follow the wires. But we'll see what's wrong with that. So we'll check out the other end of that cable there. So that's what we're going to do next there. And then after this, we're going to be adding the electronics one by one so that when it's hooked up to the battery, the radio turns on by me flipping the switch right here. And then the radio will turn on. So that's the next step, is to get it to work just like that. Here's the seat, and this is the safety switch for the seat that it connects to. So the connecting end to this switch here, and you can see that it just has two little prongs right there, and that's exactly what would push into this. So this is the safety switch for the seat. So why it's not working is yet to be discovered, but now that I double checked this, I know that that's what that is. So now we can go on and try troubleshooting this problem with this safety switch here, which I don't mind that doesn't work. Oh, I know what the problem is exactly. Alright guys, so I remembered why this isn't working, and it's not working because the parking brake is on. So if you have the blade engaging, if you have the blades off, alright, and you're sitting on the lawnmower and you get off without putting on the parking brake, the lawnmower will shut off. But if you put the parking brake on and the blades are off, you can get off the lawnmower without it shutting off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the parking brake off, and then I'm going to try to start the lawnmower without this connected. That's what we're doing right now. There we go. Parking brake is off. Switch is disconnected. This switch, don't have to worry about it. It's connected. Here we go. Turn the key. Nothing. So what we're going to do is connect to this switch. This switch is connected. Parking brake is off. Turning the key. Nothing. Oh my gosh, this thing. So what I think it is it's because you have to have the parking brake pushed in. You have to have the brake pushed in in order for you to start it. And then after you start it, you can let off the clutch, brake, and then it'll run fine because you're sitting on the seat. But as soon as you let off the seat, you get off the seat, it'll shut off, or you push the brake back in and you put it in the parking brake and then turn it back on, and then this, it's complicated to explain, but I'll show you what I'm talking about when I have the lawnmower finished. It'll be a lot easier to explain what I'm talking about here. So we got to put the parking brake back on for the further troubleshooting so that it'll actually start. Parking brake's back on. Alright guys, so the next step that we're doing is we're going to try to hook up the stereo. So it's going to be powering the radio here, and then that's just gonna give the audio signal to the speakers in the front. So there's 2 power wires coming out of the back of this. The positive one I wired all the way up to there, and I have it connected to this switch right over here. It's either this one. Yeah, it's this one. It's not this one. This one's for the lights, for the blinking. But okay, so I have it wired to this switch right here. All right. And then from this switch, the other end of the switch, I have going to the solenoid from the hot end from the battery. So one of those positive connections from the battery goes to the solenoid here. All right. And then I have from that solenoid connection, so it's just like taking the wire from the radio, the positive, and connecting it right to this positive here. It's just like that, but it's only wired up there. And then the negative wire for the radio is right here. All right, so we're going to leave the positive one on the solenoid right there. And all we're going to do is, the first one that we're going to do is we're just going to connect this right to the negative of the battery right there. And we're going to try that. Battery is connected again. All we did was we just added the ground, the negative wire for power from the radio. All right, and then the positive one we already discussed is connected to this switch right here. So what we're going to do, because this is connected right here, is we're just going to flip the switch and see if the radio comes on or not. Here we go. Flip the switch. Radio, I can't believe this, is actually on. I can prove that by the display right there. Then if I go to the radio, turn it up. It actually plays music. And for some reason it's actually not clipping, so I can go full volume and it's not clipping. I think that might have to do with the battery, because previously when I made it work with the radio, I was hooking it up to that charger, and I think that has been most of my wiring issues, is the charger, because it must have some built-in safety features with fuses, or just stuff that's a lot to talk about right now. But so I think that might have been my issue before. But so the radio's working. Speakers, you can hear them there. They're not loud, but they're actually not. Alright, so we just hooked it up with the radio, and you flip the switch and the radio comes off. You turn it off, radio goes off. So that's working. We know that works. So now let's see if you can start the lawnmower with that wired up. Here we go, turning the key. The safety switch for the seat is disconnected. The parking brake is on, and this switch, don't have to worry about it. I'll stop saying about this switch because, yeah, whatever. Alright, turning the key, here we go. Lawnmower still starts. That's amazing. I'm super excited. So, now that we have the radio working, we're done with the radio. It's actually those lights right there that's blinking, right? Those ones right there are the ones that are going to be powered right from the switch right there. So the reason why I think you can use those ones is because I think it'll work because it has this wall adapter right here. So it takes the power from the wall and then reduces it down to the 12 volts that this little module can handle right here. So this just has It has the remote receiver for the remote control for this right there. It has the LED connection, the RGB LED connection light connection right there, and then it has the microphone right now. That it's the hole right there. So every time, so it just goes off of noise, and I put that right underneath the subwoofer right there for when I play music. It goes off of that. But that's the reason why I think this is gonna work, is because it's just 12 volts. Because of the wall adapter, so that's why I think this is going to work. But I have to, I haven't put this on the lawnmower yet because I got to wire it up so that it has 2 positive and negative connections coming from this wire here, so that I can hook it up to that other switch right next to the radio. But we're not troubleshooting that right now because I just haven't connected that right now. Oh my gosh. Alright, so off camera, for some reason, I thought I would try and see if the Bluetooth module would come on. The thing is, I broke my Bluetooth module, so I don't have one right now. I have it ordered, so it'll be here pretty soon. So I was just going to flip the switch and see if I know the car charger would light up, the Arduino Nano should light up. And so I knew that was going to show some sign of that it was powered and was working properly. So I flipped the switch, nothing was happening. So I followed the power wires from the Bluetooth module, and I come across this ground cable here that was the negative for the Bluetooth module was just like laying right here, so it wasn't connected to a ground. So I just set it right on top of this bolt here. I just kind of stuck it in there. It's not bolted or anything. It's real loose. And then the positive is connected to the same part of the solenoid that the lawnmower is connected to. So I knew, that'll work fine. So I flipped the switch, and all of a sudden the lawnmower starts turning, and I freak out. I'm like, oh my gosh, and it doesn't stop. So then, of course, Katahdin, the first thing he thinks of is shutting the key off, which it has nothing to do with the key, because I wired the relay, the 2 wires right here, to the solenoid, just like how the switch works. So even though the switch is off, you could still start the lawnmower. So I think I'm gonna have to change that, I think, to where the key has to be at least in the on position right there to be able to start it with the Bluetooth module. I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to do that or not, because I hate figuring out the wiring for the switches here, but I should be able to do it. But that scared the crap out of me. Oh my gosh. So what I had to do was I just had to shut it off. But it was really funny. And the green LED indicator light that I had here died on me, and it wasn't working, so I used this RGB LED, and I'm just using the blue out of it. So it shined blue all right, and that was pretty funny. Hey, but at least we know that the relay connection, the wiring, works properly. So this works properly, this whole unit here. I just need the Bluetooth module to do further testing on this, and then I think what I'm gonna have to do is, between the wiring from the relay to the solenoid, I'm gonna have to make a separate switch, because I know when you have the Bluetooth module on here, I know when I was powering it by the charger, it would blink, and the relay would blink on and off like it was malfunctioning, and that would actually do that until you had the Bluetooth module connected to your phone. So that's not what we want. So I think I might have a switch where you flip it, power goes to the whole unit, and then I have another switch that's off, and it breaks this circuit for the relay. And then after you connected it to your phone, after you get that on-off malfunctioning part over, then you flip this switch, and it should be off, so nothing will happen, and then you can use it properly. So I think I'm gonna have to add this switch, but I'll wait until I have the Bluetooth module mounted and see if it won't do the blinking thing like how it was malfunctioning before I put another switch in there. So I think this is gonna wrap this troubleshooting video up. I mean, it was just a new battery. That was the problem. I think the problem was just the battery charger right there. I don't think the output the amps are nowhere near as much as this battery puts out, and I think that was the main problem. It's still 12 volts, but the amps are not there with the charger. So I think that's what was up with that, but I'm really happy where we're at right now. So I think this is going to be the end of this video. Thank you guys for watching this one, and I can't wait to make another video of me hopefully putting this whole lawnmower back together, and hopefully that'll be the last video. But thanks for watching this video. We'll see you guys in the next one.